right, here we go. Hi there, everybody. Carson Meredith with you in the Wave Now Studios. I don't know what to say, to be honest with you. So right as the countdown was rolling, we took a power hit here at the station. There was a minute where the lights were out in the studio. So we're good now. No big deal. But if I suddenly disappear during our chat tonight, it's probably because we're taking another power hit. We should be on generator power at this point. But anyway, there's that. How you doing? How's your Sunday been? Hopefully you've been able to get outside and enjoy the surprise cool down, right? We had those showers roll through earlier this morning, a few thunderstorms, especially out near Jasper, Indiana. But the clouds held on so long today that it kept us in the 80s, at least here in Louisville. Now, if you live further south, you stayed, or you were able to climb to near 90, but a lot of us had a nice break from the heat today. That will not be the case, though, as we head into Monday and Tuesday. That's the first thing we're focusing on tonight, another of which will be our midweek storms. And then is there another taste of fall in view? I'm not ready to say that just yet, but I really think you'll like the end of our 10-day earliest alert. So let's break it all down, shall we? Let's go outside to downtown. What a glorious shot, huh? You can see those thin, wispy clouds that have been with us throughout the day. They are starting to dissipate or fade away, really. And they will continue to do so through the night. It'll be kind of a partly cloudy sky with us this evening. But it's making for a very nice look in the sky and might wind up being a pretty nice sunset here in a little over an hour. 85 our current temperature. Dew points in the upper 60s, so yeah, it's still muggy. But I'd rather have muggy 80s than muggy 90s. I don't know about you guys. Radar is fairly quiet. Let me pick a different radar color look, make it look cleaner. But you do notice there were some downpours just outside of our area down here at Dare County. This was about an hour ago. Let me fix the radar and I'll show you. For those of you down watching near Columbia, because I know there's some of you that do, you notice there was a couple little blips on the map, tried to clip part of Dare County about an hour ago. They're fading away. Everybody else is dry. We're good to go for the rest of this Sunday evening. And you know, those morning downpours and the cloud cover kept any pop-up chance in check today. There wasn't any, other than what I just showed you down in Dare County. So all in all, quiet and, for August standards, comfortable Sunday for a lot of us. 75 our forecast low tonight. Yeah, it's the same as last night. Mid-70s in town, upper 60s to low 70s elsewhere with that partly cloudy sky. So, yeah, pretty typical night ahead. Let's just jump right into Monday, and it's back to reality again, unfortunately. This was kind of a one-day break in the heat today. Now we're back into the 90s again tomorrow afternoon, 94 to be exact. And the humidity is not miserable, but it's enough to give us a bit of a heat index factor. And I think tomorrow that heat index will likely hover near 100 in most spots. Here in the city, it might get up towards like 101, 102. Most of you will probably be around 98, 99, 100 with that heat index. Hot day. Not much relief either. Maybe a stray downpour. It's only a 10% chance. That's it. So definitely want to take it easy outside tomorrow. Is it dangerous heat? Not necessarily, but you got to be smart. How many times have you heard us say that this summer, right? And it'll be a very sunny day tomorrow as well. There won't be all the cloud cover like we had today. So just take it easy if you got to be out for an extended stretch on Monday and on Tuesday. Tuesday will be the hottest day of this bout of heat, if you will. But if you're watching us last night or earlier today, we had that forecast high of 97, but looking over the data today, I backed it down to 96. 1 degree. Woohoo! Here's why. Models lately have been going way too, or not way too hot, but they've been going a little too hot on our high temperatures. There's probably a couple reasons why. But based on that trend and based on the fact that we could have some storms Tuesday afternoon, I decided to drop that high to 96 because there's a chance we may not be able to get to 97 or even 98. I think 99 is off the table on Tuesday, personally. I think 100 is definitely off the table on Tuesday. It will feel near over 100 with that heat index, but the actual temperatures will stay in the 90s. So the big question about Tuesday, obviously, is going to be those storm chances. And the reason why, as we have talked about, is this cold front moving in midweek, specifically Wednesday. But there's some models that try to speed up the storm chances a little bit, speed up the front as well, to where we get some storms in here as early as Tuesday afternoon. There are some models, like the HRRR, the High Resolution Rapid Refresh model, that keep us pretty dry Tuesday afternoon. So that's a bit of a wait and see game as well. Will we have storms to track Tuesday afternoon while we're out at the State Fair? We'll see. Right now, I'm leaning towards a drier forecast on Tuesday with a high of 96. Now, Wednesday, as you see here on the map, is still expected to be the wettest day for a while. And even then, that storm chance is only 30%. It looks like a lot more rain on this particular map, but remember, this is the European model, and while the European model is great in a lot of different ways, it doesn't have the best resolution, which means it's not quite as specific as we'd like it to be. So I think the storm coverage Wednesday is going to be pretty scattered. And this front, as it moves through Wednesday night and into Thursday, it's a decent front. It's going to knock down our temperatures. It's going to put an end to the mid-90s. But it's not going to give us a nice, refreshing chill, if you will. Instead, it's just going to knock us down to where we should be in late August, which is the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. So that's the storyline for our midweek front. Now, if this front decides to speed up a little bit, then we may have to bump up those storm chances Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday evening. We'll get another run of data this evening around 9, 10 o'clock, and we'll be able to make adjustments if we need to. But for now, I'm going to lean towards Tuesday being mostly dry, just some isolated downpours, that's it, with most of the action being on Wednesday. And then that cooler air settles in, quote unquote, by the end of the work week. We're back to the upper 80s and near 90, which is normal for this time of year. All right, let's pause. Let's talk to you guys. How are we doing? Let's see. Chunky says hi on YouTube. Ann says hi. Albert's here. Hello, hello. Kevin's here from the Taylorberry neighborhood. Anita, hello, hello. Have you seen the Farmer's Almanac? I have not. I have not. I always get a good kick out of the Farmer's Almanac, but I have not had the chance to look at it yet this season. I'm sure I will at some point. Hey, hello, Tina, down in Campbellsville. Hope you're good. Crispy, what's up, man? How you doing? Let's see. Everybody's saying hey on YouTube. Reagan, hello, hello. Yeah, today's been good. Thank you. Let's see. Adam's here. Yeah, you guys had a pretty good thunderstorm last night up near Bloomington. Had some rain this morning, too. A little under a ½ inch in the last 24 hours. It's been feast or famine with these storms lately. You get either a quick ½ inch to 1 inch of rain or you get nothing. And unfortunately, that trend's going to continue for a while. Quite honestly, guys, I think Wednesday is the best rain chance we have until maybe Labor Day weekend. That's not good. That makes me think more of wave country will start to get into a drought situation this week. We'll wait and see. In hindsight, it's very good that we had a wet spring when you think about it now. If we didn't have a wet spring, I don't even want to know how the drought might be at this stage of the game. We've been lucky so far. Gary says hello from a hot and dry Pewee Valley. Hope all is good up there. Blue's here. Hey, Blue. How you doing? Angela, hello. We'll be at the fair on Tuesday. Good, Angela. I know you were kind of debating because it was going to be a little hot. I get it. Hope to see you, Be Good, and the others. Tuesday is senior day as well. That's right. Me and Be Good will be there around the same time. I think he's coming in a little later than me because he has to do weather for our newscast live at the fair at 3 o'clock. I'm going to be there probably from noon until about 3 at the booth. And I think Brian will be there from like 1 to 4, something like that. I'd have to look at the schedule. But at some point throughout our wave day at the fair, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., one of the storm tracking team members is probably going to be there. So we hope you'll stop by and say hey. I'll probably just walk around the fair once I'm done at the wave booth. So if you see me walking around the south wing, feel free to say hi as well. Sean says, hey, from Middletown. Just got back from the fair. Beautiful weather today. Yeah, it was, like I said, it was a surprise that it was so nice today, but it was a nice break from the humidity and the heat. More of a break from the heat, not the humidity. Gary kind of got hurt feelings when the rain fizzled out. Yeah, it looked good for a while, that rain, in case you're wondering what Gary's talking about. We had a pretty decent pocket of showers and storms that made it into southern Indiana, made it into Bedford and Seymour and Paoli and Jasper, and then it completely dissipated right as it got closer to Louisville. And that was expected, but those downpours did hold on a little while longer than we thought they would, so we were hoping that trend might continue, but that was not the case. More comments later. Let's get back to the chat, the weather chat, I should say. And as we talked about, this cold front will move through Wednesday. Not a huge cool down. It's not a hugely strong cold front, but it'll knock us back down to near 90. Now, the catch with this front as we get towards Saturday is it's going to hang around to our south, yes, but still be close enough to where it could be an influence, especially on Saturday. I don't want to make a big deal out of anything here, but there have been some indications that we might get a little bit of a push of moisture moving back in, especially across the bluegrass region of Kentucky Saturday. So there may be a couple more downpours on Saturday. I don't think it's a huge deal. I'm not overly worried about it, but it is something we'll just kind of babysit this week. It's only a 20% chance, no big deal. What could be a big deal is what comes behind this first cold front next weekend, all right? You notice on our sticky meter map, we got the greens and the yellows. That means it's still muggy. You notice it. But watch what happens by next Sunday, 1 week from today. Here comes the blues, the good blues. There is going to be, it appears right now, it appears a second cold front, a likely dry cold front for us, is going to move back in from the north and west. It's going to kick out the initial cold front. Sorry, things just starting to flash again. Spooked me for a minute. But anyway, this the second front next weekend is going to push through, kick the first front out of here, and hopefully bring in some refreshing air. Are we talking about a fall preview? I'm not ready to say that yet, but I do think it will be refreshing. When does it start? Next Sunday and that following Monday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of next week, I think could feel very, very comfortable here in wave countries. That secondary front moves in. It reinforces some of that drier air, keeps us quiet in the early part of next week. And if this setup were to happen, if it were to actually occur, we're talking highs in the low 80s for a lot of you. And quite a few of you could see morning lows in the 50s. Which would be very, very refreshing. So we'll wait and see, but I'm becoming a little more optimistic that in about 7 or 8 days, we'll get a quick little shot of refreshing, less humid air back into wave country. Get excited. Get excited for that. That'll be good. All right, let's talk about the tropics, and then we'll wrap up our chat tonight, okay? Here's Hurricane Erin. Not quite as organized tonight, mainly because it's got so much interaction from the islands in the Caribbean. It's moving away from Puerto Rico. You can see the outer bands on the satellite view are impacting Hispaniola, which is the island that covers Haiti and the Dominican Republic. There's also some of the southern islands in the Bahamas that are getting affected from the outer rain bands, primarily. Erin is still not expected to be a direct hit for the U.S. or for Bermuda or for anybody. Here's the track from the National Hurricane Center. They'll get an updated track here at 8 o'clock. There's no major change. Once Erin tries to, or once it does make that turn to the north and east, it moves a little further away from those islands. It's going to intensify again to a Cat 4 in all likelihood. And notice how long it stays at that major hurricane level. I mean, that's all the way until Wednesday night, early Thursday, that it stays at a Cat 3 or Cat 4. Then it'll just pivot on away back out into the North Atlantic. The big issue for the U.S. is still going to be very high waves and rip currents. I said it last night, but I'm going to remind you again. If you know anybody that's going to be in the Outer Banks, Myrtle Beach, Charleston, Hilton Head, Tybee Island, Savannah, Georgia, Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Daytona Beach, Florida, Miami, that entire portion of the eastern seaboard. Just make sure they know that the water is going to be very, 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 very rough and could be dangerous with the rip currents, because Erin is going to be a monster hurricane just in size as we get towards the next 2 or 3 days. You think it's big now, it's going to be even larger, cover a greater area over the next couple of days. And that means the effects of high waves, rip currents, and even some tropical storm force winds could make it all the way to the eastern U.S. I think the Outer Banks in particular may see those wind gusts around 50 miles an hour by Wednesday and Thursday. But thankfully, it could be much, much worse. So we're very lucky. We are very lucky with Erin. However, as you guys know, we're not at the peak of hurricane season yet. And there is another wave right on the heels of Erin off the west coast of Africa that the GFS model in particular has consistently for a few days now had impacts for the Gulf Coast. It would be from this wave towards Labor Day weekend. Now, a lot of times we look at the GFS and it spits out a hurricane, you know, cataclysmic monster hurricane that just cripples the coast and islands everywhere. And then the next GFS run, it's gone. It's just kapoof, totally disappeared. But the idea of some sort of tropical system in the Gulf of Mexico, or the Gulf, whatever you call it, that idea has been there for several days on the GFS. You look at the European model, and it really doesn't have anything organized impacting the Gulf Coast or really the East Coast. So there's still a lot of uncertainty with this particular wave, but I will tell you, since I updated this graphic last, the National Hurricane Center has increased the odds of this system becoming a named tropical or a tropical system, period. Let me check what specifically that number is now. So it was 30% earlier this evening. Now it's up to a 40% chance. So let me do my graphic editing on the fly, if I can. I'm trying. It won't let me. But this has a 40% chance now of becoming a tropical system. So the Hurricane Center is obviously looking at the GFS. They're looking at several more global and tropical models, and they think this is a wave that we need to be concerned about, or at least we need to pay attention to. So we'll watch it closely. Just as we start to get Aaron out of the way, here we go again. And this is normal for this time of year. You start to get these waves off the west coast of Africa towards the middle of August into September, sometimes into October. And it's just kind of a parade of these systems, unfortunately. And we just hope and pray that they don't cause too many issues. Aaron, by and large, not going to cause major problems. But this next wave needs to be watched. And we will, of course, keep watching it over the next 10 days. All right, here comes the 10-day back here at home. And you see the heat for today, or for tomorrow and Tuesday. Tuesday being the hottest day. How fitting for Wave Day at the fair. The hottest day is Tuesday. Wednesday, we have those scattered storms with the first cold front that moves through. That'll knock us back down to near 90 late week into Saturday. And then on Saturday, a secondary cold front moves in that reinforces some cooler, less humid air. By next Sunday and into the early part of that next week. How about 85 for high temperatures, lows in the 60s in the city, 50s outside of town? That would feel very nice here in about 7 or 8 days. Hopefully that trend will hold. All right, back to the comments, and then we'll call it a night. Cameron's here. Hello. Cody's here. How you doing? Reagan's going to be at the fair on Tuesday. Look forward to hopefully meeting. Well, Angela, I've met you before. I met you at the Twisters contest we had last year. But Reagan, hopefully I'll be able to meet you tomorrow, or Tuesday rather. Cameron, hear me out. Fire-breathing dragons during the heat. Arctic blowing robots. Wavy, can we program him to do that? Those are ideas, Cameron. Those are ideas. We'll talk to Wavy, see what he thinks about it. Albert's glad he doesn't work outside. Yeah, God bless all those that do, especially in this heat. It's tough. DJ King's here. Amanda's here. Appreciate y'all watching tonight. Susan, same thing. We could use some rain in Frankfurt, Susan says. Yeah. Right now, the worst of the dry conditions are for those of you down near Campbellsville, up towards Lebanon and Marion County, Adair County as well. Greene County, I know several of you have been posting on the Wave Weather Facebook page saying, hey, we're getting really dry down here. Getting really, really dry. Shonda's here. Hello. Ann's asking, will early next week be open windows weather? It could be, especially in the mornings. You know, if we get these morning lows in the 50s outside of Louisville, yeah, it'll feel great. It'll feel very, very nice. I'm not ready to lock it in just yet, but the trends are heading that way, that next Sunday, next Monday, and next Tuesday will feel pretty good around Wave Country. Chris is watching us from Okinawa, Japan. All right. Well, hello from the other side of the world, Chris. Thanks for watching. Isn't it Monday morning over there already? There's a huge time difference. I had friends who were based over there many, many years ago. So appreciate you watching, Chris. Stay safe up over there. Let's see. Christy says hi. Susan, yes, exactly. Do not go swimming along the eastern seaboard this week. I don't want to be like the dad that tells the kids they can't do anything fun, but rip currents are dangerous, guys. They can take you out to sea in a hurry. It's kind of frightening. It's very frightening. So, yeah, it definitely might be what the kind of beach weather where you can only dip your toes in to just kind of let your feet soak in that ocean water, and that's it. Don't want to go too far out into it. Let's see. Adam, hopefully the weather cools down for the first week of football. it's always a toss-up with what college football first weekend weather is going to be like. It's always Labor Day weekend, so we'll see. Labor Day weekend is just outside of view, but I will say there is indications we might have a little bit of a cool down by Labor Day weekend too. We'll wait and see. Sean asked, when does hurricane season end? That is the end of November. November 30th, officially. A lot of times it quiets down in November, but there have been significant storms in November. I remember 2020, there was a major hurricane, I think in mid-November. So it's not unheard of. Most of the action quiets down in October, but there has been trouble into November as well. Good question. Well, let's see. Gary, it'll turn cold and stay cold soon enough. Hanging on to that warm weather as long as you can. Hey, I don't blame you, Gary. That's fair. That's fair. And you're right. It will eventually turn cold and stay cold for a while. All right, guys, that's going to do it for tonight. Any last-minute comments before we go? We will... hey, we got through our stream without the power going out again, so that was good. It happens from time to time. It's just life. But anyway, so that's the story for the week ahead. Hot tomorrow and Tuesday. Storms for some on Wednesday. Feeling better by the end of the week. Feeling really good in about a week. That's the too long didn't read version of the 10-day earliest alert tonight. Appreciate you guys watching as always. I will see you again on TV, on the old school TV on Wave News at 11. If you're still up, I hope you'll tune in. Reagan, I appreciate the kind words. Thank you very much. Cameron, how many more 90s do you think for the rest of the year? There will be more. Let's see, how many are there right now in the 10-day? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at least 5 more in all likelihood. And we always have a handful in September. So I think we probably got another at least 8 to 10 days in the 90s left. We've had 41 so far. Last year we had 59, I think. So we're behind pace from last year, but I think there will be more to come. All right, that's it for tonight, guys. I'll see you on TV at 11, and then I will see you Tuesday, hopefully, at the Kentucky State Fair. Hope you'll come by and say hello then, and I'll be back here on Wave Weather Now next weekend. Take care. See y'all soon.